All right, we're still here at the property. It's now been about 30 minutes since we left the property, and I'm still here with Carl Harris from
Fanatic Inspection.
There you go, Fanatic Inspection Services, and we're having a discussion pretty much based on business and life and kind of how this economy has affected all of us. And it was something real funny what you just said. You were talking about sometimes the people that you surround yourself with. You can't have these, deep discussions sometimes about business and about life. You were like, who do you call? Go ahead, say what you were saying again.
Well, my thing is this. Who do you call if you have an idea or brainstorm at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock, 1 in the morning,
right?
And you have that surge that just comes hits you,
right?
And it's like, who do you call? I mean, you especially if you're an entrepreneur, you aspire to be an entrepreneur,
right.
I mean, you can't call your friend that works at the local CVS.
Right.
Not unless he's been through it.
Right. And you kind of want to
It's like
speaking
a foreign language to him.
Exactly. And we were talking about bills in the system, and I literally was talking about how I was putting together a video about this last night. And, most of us, grew up in situations where we didn't have that discipline to have these systems. So one of the things that I was recommending to you was the Dave Ramsey system, and you had mentioned another tool that you just bought. What was that?
It's a Neat Receipt desk. It's a desk scanner.
Okay.
Neat Receipt.
So then what you do is you take your receipts and
you scan them in, and they actually categorize it for you. Sometimes if it can't read it, you have to do it yourself.
Okay.
But you can put 10 receipts, 10 business cards, and 10 8x11 documents or legal size documents in there at the same time and hit a button and it'll scan all of them simultaneously. So that's one by one.
Right.
And you can also put just, if you just want to put 8x12, 8x11s or legal size, you can put up to 50 of those in there at one time and scan it, and it'll scan 50 documents probably within a minute and a half.
What did it cost for you to get this?
It's roughly about $399 for this particular item. But
that's the system probably save up for a little bit.
It does, and it even has everything for your taxes.
Yeah.
You can export. You can export the documents into Excel or whatever you want to do with it.
So just going back to what we were talking about before about surrounding yourself with good people. I mean,
the thing is that you can have good people, loyal people around you,
right?
But still, as an entrepreneur, you need that input.
Yeah.
And you can't always get that from them because they speaking a totally different language.
Right. And it's like you have to talk to think rather than think to talk. To make sure that the ideas are clear.
It's almost like being an alien. I mean, I'm serious, because it's like sometimes you want to talk about, they want to talk about, what's going on the job.
Right.
They want to talk about their overtime.
Right.
Their sick leave.
Right.
And,
you don't have overtime.
You don't have sick leave. And you don't care to talk about it.
Right.
And I know you run into this. They want to talk about how much money they make.
There you go.
You don't want to say anything.
Right. Why? Because you think that yours is low or that yours is exceedingly high?
No, it's because they don't make what they say they make. You make what you take home.
There you go.
You make what you take home. And so one of the biggest tricks, I'm not a multi-millionaire or billionaire, but one thing I would like to do, and maybe we could do it together, or start doing some type of financial mentoring for the youth, or because these are things that we should have gotten years ago.
Right. Well, one thing I definitely do know, and again, this is totally unscripted, I'm just coming up with things. There are cash flow games of people playing in the area. Have you been to cash flow game yet?
I have the one when me and my kids play. Robert Kiyosaki cash flow
for kids.
For kids, yeah.
Have you played the regular cash flow?
No, I haven't.
You need to. Okay, now there are two places that I know in the DC area where you can do it. Number one is the Borders Bookstore in Bowie. That's run by Reginald Reddy. Hey, Reg. And that's on Saturdays. You can, if you give me a call, I can make sure you get in contact with Reg. The other one is Sherman Ragland's group has one called DC RIA. At DCRIA.com, I believe it is. You can go there, and it's on Friday nights. Okay. Every Friday night, I think around about 6:30, 7 o'clock is when they start. You just pop in there, I believe, and just go ahead and run that. And I think also, too, there's another group, the Tammy Phelps, Andre Johnson group. They have it, I think, on Thursday nights. Okay. So there's always somebody who's playing it somewhere in the neighborhood. And, good people to kind of surround yourself with, because they understand, they speak your language, they kind of talk the talk and walk the walk, and they're always learning. So you're always trying to figure out what's going on.
That sounds good, because it gets rough. Sometimes, you need somebody to tell you, like, well, to give you constructive criticism, to say, well, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
And then you say, well, why? And then you debate and you go back and forth.
There you go.
And sometimes you walk away from the conversation saying he's a fool,
right,
or she's a fool, and then you think about it and you say, well, maybe I'm the fool.
Exactly.
But
that's growth. That's how growth is supposed to happen.
But you can't get that.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can't get that. Only time you can get that is if they're somebody that even though they work, they also have other things going on outside the job. They're investing in the stock market. They're buying properties.
Yeah.
They're doing some. They're flipping. Maybe they're a realtor part time. Those. But you can't. How can I put it? The people are loyal. You know what I'm saying? You can't just. You
don't throw them away, but I think as you re-educate,
new relationships.
You have to build new relationships. You have to augment your relationship set. And sometimes that means going to a real estate investment group if that's what you're into. Sometimes that means going to a church group if that's what you're into. Sometimes that means just going to a social group if that's what you're in, whatever the case is. So I guess the thing is to probably identify like what things you like to do, and then probably try to find a group. Another place or location that I found is really good with that is meetup.com. So what you do is you go in and you plug in what your interests are, and then there's a bunch of people who get together sometimes around underwater basket weaving, say, or politics, or IT management, or creating videos, or real estate investing, or even P90X. There's a ton of groups out there in the DC area. So that's 3 or 4 that I know of that are actually out there doing P90X together. So if you do that, then that might, help give you the community that understands that they need to branch out a little bit more and find some other people that kind of speak their language. Right. Well, look, man, I'm not going to hold you up. It's 20 degrees. No, it's like 30 degrees out here. And he has on short sleeves. Did y'all see he got on short sleeves? I don't understand it. But, man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time, man.
No problem, John.
All right.